Here's our next unit, folk and popular culture. Let's get to it. All right, what we're going to focus on first is where do folk and popular cultures originate and diffuse. Ooh, all right, originate and diffuse. Diffusion we've talked about many times before. Let's get to it. Boom. So, how do geographers analyze culture? Well, geographers are concerned with where cultures are located, literally where they are, and how they are spatially distributed. And we're concerned with the following vocabulary terminology that we've learned in Chapter 1. We're concerned with space, let's say between these cultures, diffusion, how cultural trends and beliefs have spread and have not spread, also connection between one culture to another, whether they're isolated or they're not. And last but not least, globalization, how cultures are intertwined with one another, either through sports, through customs, through food, etc. And we're looking at two specific things within culture. One is material culture, and this would be categorized as the physical evidence and the differences of various cultures, such as food and clothing and shelter and books and jewelry, and you get the picture. And then the second thing we're looking at is cultural activities. And this is how cultures choose to spend their free time, aka leisure time. All right, and this can be in the form of art, sports, and really any extracurricular activity that doesn't involve physical evidence of a culture like I stated above. Cool, let's keep going. All right, we also have to focus on something called habit versus custom, all right? Habits are what individuals perform. So, for example, only some or very few people wear jeans, or some or very few people eat pizza, or some or very few people listen to country music, all right? It's individuals, whereas a custom is a repetitive act of a group of people. So, for example, see how I change this dynamic, that Americans wearing jeans, or that certain people pray before a meal, or a large group of them, or that a certain culture, a group of people in the culture bow to greet somebody, so on and so forth, all right? Habit, individual, custom, group. Keep it going. All right, so what is the difference between folk and popular culture? Well, folk is customs practiced by small, homogeneous groups that usually live in isolated areas. Now, one example that I showed you in class was the classic Korean folk song Arirang, which obviously is really known and celebrated in Korea than anywhere else in the world. Now, focus on popular culture. What is popular culture? Well, it's found in large heterogeneous societies that share certain habits despite differences of race, religion, and or ethnicity. So, for example, eating pizza, that is not an American trend, or that's not a Hispanic trend, or that's not an Italian trend, okay? Eating pizza spans various groups, all right, and various countries. Keep it going. So when it comes to culture, we also want to focus on origin. So what is an origin? Well, social customs that originate had a hearth. And what a hearth is a center or a zone, if you will, where something has originated from. So folk origins usually are anonymous, and there's no identifying person or persons that have created it. Also, what's interesting is that there might have multiple isolated origins. So, for example, one culture might have a certain custom that a totally isolated culture somewhere else around the world has as well. So it's interesting to compare these two together. All right, popular origins is usually a product of MDCs over LDCs, right? So usually with popular trends, they have a defined origin. They're from somewhere and someone or some organization has created it. And the reason why popular culture is hence popular, or that more people know about it, is because, well, in MBCs, there's more leisure time. With leisure time and technology, helps diffuse popular customs across space or across the land. All right, so speaking of spreading culture, popular culture is usually spread through hierarchical diffusion, or aka people above. So one great example is Hollywood, right? Movies. These influence various people throughout the United States, and it's easily spread through various forms of technology. All right, folk culture. This diffuses much more slowly than popular culture, and for a number of reasons. All right, one of the biggest reasons being that they might lack, well, technology to spread it as quickly as in popular culture. Now, the way folk culture diffuses is through migration, or aka relocation diffusion, rather than technology. So when a culture or trend spreads from one culture to another, this is usually through relocation diffusion and not technology. All right, that's it. Quick little intro video. We're going to talk a lot about different stuff in class. I will see you then.